I am Mike Hughes, Behavioural Strategist at Ogilvy Consulting. We are the behavioural science practice within Ogilvy Consulting, and essentially we study why we do the things that we do. We focus on behaviour change and any briefs where we want to see people do things in a different way. That's the type of work we work on.
My name is Eike Post, and I'm the founder of Nuclear Block Ventures. And at the same time, I'm also the founder of IQ Elite. Nuclear Block Ventures is a venture builder in the cryptocurrency space.
Lisa Clampitt, founder and president of the Matchmaking Institute.
Rachel Russo, founder of Rachel Russo Relationships.
Is an educational institute that was created for both education and collaboration.
Rachel Russo Relationships is a dating and relationship consultancy, and it focuses on matchmaking for marriage-minded singles.
My name is Dr. Brittany Barreto. I'm CEO and co-founder of Pheramor. Pheramor is a science-based dating app. We match singles up based on their DNA compatibility.
Hi, my name is David Libertalis. I'm the CEO and founder of Visii. We're a company that helps people find what they're looking for online, specifically visual content, so images, pictures, and etc.
Alex Sergent, CEO, V-Dating. V-Dating is V-Exuberant Experiences, and we're all about accommodating modern lifestyles by providing experiences that people won't forget in person via events.
I think so. So there's one guy from Russia. He is interested in actually looking at how genetics, attraction, and astrology match up. And so he has over 100,000 users, and he was like, I want to use your services to sell kits to my users. So that's incredible. And then also a matchmaker that specializes in the Jewish community is interested in doing genetic testing, not only for attraction, but also for recessive genetic disorders. And once again, being here as an expert in genetics, it's been really fun to say, yeah, we can offer that service as well.
Not yet, but watch this space.
I've got 2 business cards in my hand, so let's see what happens over lunch.
Actually, this is really fascinating. There was a matchmaker who lives between Belgium, I believe, and the Cayman Islands, and I was describing a client that I have in Long Island, New York. She has someone in Long Island, New York, in the same town in her database. And I met her here. I actually just spoke to the client, and he's interested in seeing this person's profile. So I think we did a matchmaker collaboration. I will pay her a very generous fee because I'll be happy to have this introduction from my client. So that was useful.
Well, right now, for us specifically, the ICO market is kind of down. So I talked to several people that actually were considering doing ICOs, but they are no longer considering it because the ICO market is down. So no, I don't really think that right now there's any people that I met here that are doing ICOs.
And I think for my purposes with the Matchmaking Institute, we're trying to kind of have an international database, online, offline hybrid. So connecting to the online companies and collaborating that way, I think we've made a lot of connections.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't say even say formal deals right now, nothing signed or anything, but in terms of the future, then I've identified some great, some people have got some great businesses here that obviously been done well in terms of the homework and getting great people to come to this event, so it's looking very good.
All people interested in the dating world, whether it is online or offline, including service providers.
I'd recommend the event to anyone who is looking to find out what's out on the scene, what the trends are, who works in the sector, maybe not just the sector at large as well, maybe other sectors that bridges on, for example, eat-outs, eateries, restaurants. There's something, dating encompasses a wide range of lifestyle, so there's lots of things that can be used to bring into the mix.
I recommend iDate to anybody who is in the dating industry and who is a C-level executive.
I'd recommend iDate to anyone who has an idea for a dating app, anyone who has recently launched a dating app, people who are well-established dating apps, and then also people who are dating coaches, matchmakers. There's space for technologies to also participate in terms of, you know, I'm a genetic-based dating app, but a lot of what I talked about during this week was my ability to offer genetic testing for attraction as a service to other dating apps and matchmakers. I know there's a few other technology platforms here offering services that could enhance current dating products and matchmaking services. So I think that tech startups could also really participate in this.
So the caliber of the people that have been coming in has been really impressive. It's been founders and CEOs, and the diversity was pretty big. It's an international crowd coming from the US, from Europe. Very exciting.
I'm meeting people that are decision makers in their companies. So I've met a few CEOs, but I've also met people that are, trying to help their company be more innovative, and that's been really helpful for me as somebody who is trying to offer an additional service to these matchmakers or other dating apps.
Well, here, all kinds of people, mainly CEOs of companies. CEOs, C-level executive in the dating industry.
A whole range. I mean, clearly, the people who look at design of systems and software. I've just met the CEO of an online dating app, someone who is a cryptocurrency expert. So a whole range already. I've only been here 3 hours.
I've met a few other matchmakers, as well as people that are just trying to get into the industry. Some are not sure, actually, if they're going to do matchmaking or start a dating app. And it's interesting to see them kind of go through this, because I've been in the industry so long, and now I'm experiencing it from a newbie's perspective when I'm hearing all of their questions.
I guess a mixture, CEOs, different suppliers, different partners, opportunities, synergies, people very friendly, and I think, some great networking overall.
Well, it's a funny point that you make, because I'm so used to newbies in the matchmakers track, and I actually met a newbie in the potential online track today, which I've never seen before, because it's so intense, the online industry, to break in. But she was like, I'm exploring, I'm gonna learn about it, and so that was really fun.
The thing that made me go wow was being in a room full of people talking about the things that I stay up at night alone thinking about, because I don't necessarily have these other industry experts next door all the time. So we actually just finished talking about male behavior on dating apps and sending dick pics, but we were talking about it in a really professional manner and an industry legitimate concern. And as professionals in this industry who want to have good behavior being performed on our products, how do we go about navigating that? And that's not something that I can necessarily bring up to my board of directors or my investors. And so it's something that I've been struggling to find someone to discuss it with and be professional about it. And here I am having a good, really meaningful conversation about it.
There were several things. I think Steve Dean certainly took one of those prizes with 170 apps on his phone, 5,000 Tinder connections. I thought that his depth of knowledge in the features and the online industry was second to none. But that's only one of many.
There is a wow moment, and that came from Kate Taylor, who did the talk about content publishing. She named a website, I'm forgetting the name, but I have it written down, and you can put in your keywords, dating, matchmaking, you can put in the names of your competitors, whatever you want, on a daily basis, and it will sum up all of the articles that were published on that day that got the most hits and were most likely to be viral content. And that's so simple, and I'm like, how did I not know about this? But I think that can be a huge game changer, and I'll probably implement that also. So that really resonated with me.
I saw quite a few things here today. I've only been to a few things so far, but I think gutsy dating was quite a highlight for me. A niche market, but something that can really catch on. 10% of the population having issues, controls with their bladder, diseases, or maybe they've had difficulties, and it's something that we could really potentially I could work with in terms of a future partner, but also in terms of what they're actually doing, which is great. They've grown organically. That really made me think, oh, this is a great pitch for someone who obviously believes thoroughly in what they're doing.
I would say that learning finally about blockchain and crypto currency was a wow moment, because it's so much more simple than I thought it was going to be.
I'm going to have to hear about this, because I don't even know what that is right now.
Pretty basic, and I had no idea.
Yeah, we were very excited to sponsor iDate.
This is my first iDate.
I've been involved with iDate since probably 2007.
I've been to 3 iDates.
First time, yeah, great. First time, best time, loved it.
This is my first time at iDate.
What's fascinating about iDate is that it combines our matchmakers track with the internet track, and I think what's so important is that communication between online and offline, which is hard to find in our matchmakers corner.
Really good, yeah. Interesting talks, the kind of the variation of the talks. For us, it's interesting that with kind of new technological tweaks within kind of industries, we'd look at, so what are the things that actually stay the same with this technology? What does it do, and what can we learn from people doing?
It is, and I have to say I've had a really good time here. Some great feedback, some great people, and I just keep going, I guess. Looking forward to it.
The last 2 days have been really interesting. It's been educational, it's been thought-provoking. It's also actually been very entertaining. I wished all of you could have been there for some of those exchanges. We've learned a lot from chemistry of dating through to the matchmaking value that exists in the industry versus the online world. It's been really interesting.
The event's been a lot of fun, actually. I connected with people from all over the world. I'm hearing different perspectives. Everyone's talk had some value. Even if there was just one or two things that really resonated with me that I'm going to apply, I think that's valuable alone, but there was a lot of good information.
It was incredible. I have met people that I would have never interacted with otherwise, and I've learned a lot.
The speed networking was one of the highlights for me because it's an effective way within a limited time to get to know many people. So yeah, I got to know probably like six people, and all of them are very interesting people. And maybe I'm going to do some cooperation with them later on.
I actually personally love the speed networking event at iDate because it forces you to have boundaries around information, and if you're at a cocktail party, you're with someone for like a half an hour and you can't sort of move on. And so this was, okay, what do you have? What do I have? Do we have a connection? Move on. And I always find such great value. I end up with a stack of cards. I also find it really interesting that we are put in a situation which is like the single population where we're actually having to speed date. So I love that angle.
Speed networking was a really effective way to quickly touch base with many people and navigate who I should invest time in during the networking hour to know better, and also be able to navigate who wasn't a good fit.
We had about a minute. I did meet someone that is going to be launching a platform. If her dream comes true, I think there's an opportunity for us to be able to bring her some value.
It was a positive experience for me as well. It was the first time I actually did speed networking, and I wasn't really that into it, maybe because way back when I did try speed dating as a participant, and it felt kind of similar, and I was like, ugh, because you might be matched with someone that has nothing to do with what you're doing, or something may be a little off. However, back to what I said, I think every person has value, and if you're creative, you could find something to connect on. And so I went into it a little hesitant, but only after probably sitting down with 3 people, maybe 4 people, whenever time was up, I was like, oh, that's it? I wanted to do more. I could have met everyone there. I felt energized by it instead of like drained.
I think I've got a lot of work cut out for me now. I think I've already identified a few people we can potentially work with, partner up with, supply, or we supply them, whatever have you. So a lot of potential. Yeah, I'm going to having a long, no endless nights of sleep, I think.
What I always love in general across the board is the information sharing, and that people are so open to sharing what used to be called trade secrets and now is just collaboration and information sharing. And so I'd say that I've learned a lot about different models and different ways to do things that seem very basic, seem like I should know this after being in the industry for 20 years, but I take 1,000 notes and I still utilize that.
Yes, we did. I'm not sure I want to spill all the beans today, but certainly the thought-provoking aspect of my comment was about the fact that I'm taking away a lot of things that we want to work on.
For us, online dating are the things that we think are interesting is like what is actually going to stay the same? What's the experience that people have? How do we make it better?
It was interesting. The most interesting part for me was to talk to several entrepreneurs. Some of them had also done an ICO or are working on an ICO on an initial coin offering, which is what we're focusing on.
We already kind of thought about, we think Pheramor is actually going to be the first dating app that's incorporating matchmaking. And this is just kind of like an idea that we had. And after this weekend, we've been totally confirmed that this is where the industry is going and we're already on track for it. So we should really invest in it.
Yes, I did. I actually feel very inspired by some of the speakers today, having to do with branding and creating an editorial calendar. And I've been writing for such a long time and have published books, but this was really getting me to hone in on who is the target market that I'm writing for. And some of her techniques of how to avoid procrastination I thought were great. So I'm actually thinking that I'm going to do a 30-day writing challenge because of what she suggested, and that probably will make a difference for my content and attract more clients. I will add, I did come up with a new idea too for a product with Matchmaking Institute based on feedback that I got from my presentation that I did today on how to manage difficult clients.
If you're not at iDate, you're not in the dating business.
If you're not at iDate, you're not in a dating business.
If you're not at iDate, you're not in the dating business.
You're not at iDate, you're not in the dating business.
Si vous n'êtes pas à iDate, vous n'êtes pas dans le business du dating.
If you're not at iDate, you're not in the dating business.